Hello and welcome to Muscat, Oman, the Al Amarat cricket ground. We have the second game of the day from Group B in this ACC Western Region T20 tournament, where the UAE take on Kuwait. The two sides had got their tournaments off to a flyer yesterday for comprehensive victories. The UAE saw off Iran comfortably. They were batting second there, chasing 62 for victory, and they knocked those runs off comfortably inside 5.3 overs to move themselves top of the group with a massive net run rate of 8.223. Rohan Mustafa was the star yesterday, 41 not out from 18 deliveries. He also took 2 for 6 with the ball from his 4 overs. As for Kuwait, they were exceptional against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia got off to a flyer on 52 for 1 after 5 overs, and then Kuwait came roaring back, led by their captain Mohammad Aslam with the ball. He took 2 for 3 from 4. Mohammad Ansar took 3 for 35 as well, another 2 for Syed Monib. Shiraz Khan also chipped in. One of those wicket takers yesterday, Pradeep Wasanta, misses out today. The only change for Kuwait in their side, Naveed Ahmed comes in his place. As for the UAE, they are unchanged from that victory. See the sides there, led out by Ahmed Raza, Rohan Mustafa and Chirag Suri. Excellent opening the batting yesterday, and they will open the batting again. Kuwait, as you see their squad, Hamad Uslam won the toss just moments before and put the UAE into bat. Just that one change in that team that we just mentioned. Pradeep Wasanta, Surf Dharma coming out, and Naveed Ahmed coming into the side for this game. It's added importance on this match. After earlier on, we saw Saudi Arabia romp to victory over Iran. They move level on points with both UAE and Kuwait. UAE play Saudi Arabia tomorrow. Kuwait play Iran. So it's a very important game this for both sides as they look to secure top 2 places that will take them through to the semi-finals. The winners of those semi-finals will take them through to the final qualifier in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia in August this year. The winner of that will then go on to play in this year's Asia Cup T20 tournament. Winner of that final qualifier will join the 5 full member sides from the region: India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So a lot riding on this today. Chirag Suri will be the UAE batsman on strike first of all. Looks like Mohammad Ansar will be the man to open the bowling for Kuwait. Took 3 wickets yesterday, got a bit of tap at the start. Faisal Khan was going so well. He came back towards the end, picked up wickets towards the death, cleaning up the Saudi Arabia tail. So Mohammad Ansar it will be to Chirag Suri. Surrey drives first ball. It'll be a dot with Hamid Ansar. Big burly fella. Very much medium pace. Especially with someone like Surrey. Used to facing some of the fastest bowlers in the world. In franchise cricket, ODI cricket, and more. And it's overthrows. Sloppy. It's a well-run single initially. Then the backing up. Not up to scratch from Kuwait. It's Mohammed Amin, who's at mid-on. Didn't get round in time to back up that throw. Fine margins that determine this game. Crucial one in this qualification process. That's not the start Kuwait will have wanted. Giving away 5 overthrows. First sight of Rohan Mustafa on strike today. He's in such good form yesterday against Iran. Took a little bit of a while to get going, but once he did, there was no stopping him. 41 off 18 balls, 8 fours and a 6 in that innings. Such a destructive player. He's the former UAE captain on his day. Appeal for caught behind. Umpire's not interested. Big loud not out in reply to the Kuwaiti Howzats. You'll see that from Rohan. It was just like yesterday, and you see it so often in his batting early on. He'll play some big, expansive shots. Might not quite time the first few. Once he gets going, very difficult to stop. Can look scratchy, inelegant at the start of his innings. That can soon change as long as he just feels ball on bat. Once he starts timing the ball, you're up against it as a bowling side. A good start from Mohammed Ansar in reply to that. Those overthrows. Again, Rohan driving, flailing outside off stump. Gets nowhere near that one. It's 5 from the first over. Could have been so much tighter had those overthrows not raced away for 4. Good from Mohammed Ansar though. Good start from Kuwait. Syed Muneeb open the bowling from the opposite end. Originally has roots in Afghanistan, the first from Afghanistan to play for Kuwait. An all-effort bowler. You'll hear it in the grunts as he releases the ball in his delivery stride. It's all action. Left alone outside off stump from Rohan Mustafa. Munib has settled into a very nice line here so far. And if you saw Kuwait yesterday, this will come as no surprise. They are very vocal in the field. Full of energy, full of voice, full of encouragement for each other. Excellent stuff from Munib and a great start from Kuwait. UAE crucially haven't lost a wicket, just 7 on the board after 2 overs. Kuwait bowlers have really settled in some very good air. Kuwait calling for the helmet for Usman Patel, the wicketkeeper, coming up to the stumps to Ahmed Ansar. Rohan Mustafa on strike for the UAE. It's a response to Mustafa trying to come down the pitch the ball before. He's a player that likes to use his feet, especially to seamers early on. Use his feet and go over the top. Either side, square of the wicket in particular. Just like that, goes over extra cover, freeing his hands. Can't give Rohan Mustafa that kind of width. Bounces once and runs away for the first 4 of the UAE innings. So Ahmed Ansar just too wide to Rohan Mustafa. You can see the end of the clip there. Throwing his hands through the ball, clearing extra cover comfortably. 1 bounce 4. That could be the thing that just turns Rohan Mustafa. Normally moments are quite... Beat the outside edge. Rohan Mustafa's bat. Excellent delivery from Munib. Rohan Mustafa walking on the drive. Pushing firmly at the ball, Rohan Mustafa. Walking, really concentrating. His weight not quite going through all as he had hoped. Excellent delivery from Munib. Beaten again. This time it lifts the carry through to the keeper. It's given a wide. Seems a harsh decision from where we are. Mustafa twice now in succession. Beaten on the outside by Munib. Outside that off stump. Slower ball from the Kuwaiti bowler. Very good stuff, this. Mustafa late on it, gets an outside edge and manages to scuttle through for a single. He'll be relieved to be off strike. So Muneeb's been excellent. Suri cutting into the offside, a misfield. And he's allowed to come through for a single. Be frustrating for Kuwait. Just letting Suri get off strike. Ryan clipping through mid-wicket. Lovely shot. Races away for 4. Lovely shot from Ryan Mustafa. It's over pitch from Muneeb, drifting onto the UAE opener's pads. Just clipped through the gap in mid-wicket. It runs away for 4. Pure timing that from Ryan Mustafa. Excellent shot. This time dabs it down to third man. Just be the single. Wide of the off stump. And not given a wide this time. I feel like that might have been to make up for the one called in the over earlier on. UAE finished the 4th over, 27 without loss. Very much a balanced and even start. The early goings here. Mustafa clipping over, deep backward square leg. Big 6 to welcome Mohammed Kashif into the attack. Just innocuously on his legs, a bit short. Mustafa just helps it on its way and all the way for 6. Excellent start from Rowan Mustafa. He's 25 not out from 16 deliveries. Going along very nicely currently. Suri used his feet, drives through the covers for a moment. Looked like a chance. Would have been one hell of a catch if Said Manib had managed to get across. It's in the air for a long time, but driven very firmly from Chirag Suri. Using his feet, dancing down the wicket, crashing it through the covers, as you see here on the replay. Lovely shot. And the UAE finding their feet, starting to motor a little. It's well bowled from Kasif. Fallen in the block hole. Kashif, we didn't see Kashif bowl yesterday for Kuwait. He's got overs in himself here with the absence of Pradeep or Santa, the slow left armour, who was dropped from the team that beat Saudi Arabia yesterday. That's 39 without loss, the UAE, after 5 overs of this crucial game at the top of Group B, the ACC Western Region T20 tournament. And that over from Mohammad Kashif has given Mohammad Ansar the opportunity to change ends. It's back into the attack. This is, of course, the final over of this power play. Just 2 men allowed out of the inner circle. 5 balls remaining of this power play. UAE will want to make the most of them. Right, Mustafa goes over. Cover point. Big outside edge in the air for a long time. Just evades the fielders. UAE left-hander gets back for 2. In the air for a long time, that. Mustafa this time gets all of it, going down the ground, smiting it back over the bowler's head. Powerfully struck. Checking to see if it went all the way. No, it's bounced just inside the rope. Called as 4. See the end of it there. Just bouncing inside the rope for Mustafa, using his feet very well. Does so again. This time should find the fielder, but it bobbles past cover. He run one turn, and great running from the UAE pair to come back for the second. Shouldn't have been a single, let alone 2. Managed to just pierce the inner circle. Afzal Ashraf, the fielder, caught out by a little bobble. Mustafa again using his feet, again finding Ashraf. This time does well to get round and stop it, keep it to a single. UAE end the power play, 6 overs in, 49 without loss. As it stands, Chirag Suri 13 not out, and Ruhr Mustafa has been the aggressor. Has 34 to his name already. As for Kuwait, they've used 3 bowlers. Mohammad Anzar swapped ends. 3 for 27. Mohammad Kashif bowled that 1 over for 12. Saeed Monib was excellent. His 2 overs going for just 10. He really troubled Mustafa at times. You see, Rohan so far 34 from 21, 3 4s and 2 6s in that effort. It's been excellent from him so far. Change of bowling. Naveed Ahmed will come into the attack, making his debut today for Kuwait. Left arm wrist spinner, drags it short and is met in dismissive fashion from Ruhr Mustafa, rocking back and pulling to the leg side, dissecting those 2 fielders on the boundary. Brings up the UAE 50. You see it again, just dragged short from Naveed Ahmed and pulled away confidently by Ruhr Mustafa. Short again this time. Will just be the single. Said that brought up the UAE 50 in quick fashion as well. They've moved on to 54 without loss. This is the 7th over. Naveed Ahmed, the left arm wrist spinner. Want to find a better length. Short again. Just 1, no. Despite the fumble in the field. And the excellently named Diju Sheely Javier. Naveed Ahmed on debut. Be very excited. So far, just that wrist is dragging over the ball, dropping it a bit too short. Taking the pace off it there, as did Ruhr Mustafa, expertly placing it in the gap and running 2. Great understanding from Rowan Mustafa of this outfield and where the fielders are, knowing that he can drop it into that gap and comfortably run too. Right, and this time cuts through point, and that'll run away for 4 more. Excellent stuff from Rowan Mustafa this so far. He made 41 off just 18 balls yesterday, and he's backed it up again. So far here, moves on to 45. And the UAE 61 without loss after 7 overs. Despite what you're seeing on your screens there, score just needs to be caught up. The UAE, in fact, 61 for 7. 61 for 0, sorry, after 7 overs. Chirag Suri, 14 not out. Rowan Mustafa, unbeaten on 45. It's been excellent so far. Be a change of bowling once again. Mohammad Aslam, captain, bringing himself into the attack. Not afraid to rotate his bowlers so far, trying to find something to work. He was excellent yesterday. It was his introduction that really changed the game against Saudi Arabia. He got 2 for 3 from his 4 overs. Slow left armour. Just try to exert a bit of pressure. Force UAE into a mistake. It's driven very well by Chirag Suri. Cut off, excellent fielding. Out in the deep. Stunning piece of fielding. Nearly enforced a run out. So Mohammad Anzar down there. Ran round superbly to cut the ball off in the first place, and then his bullet arm nearly had Rowan Mustafa in trouble. Suri this time tucks it away with a paddled sweep down to fine leg. 2 more to the UAE cause. Just the single. Confusion reigning in the middle. Mohammad Anzar doing some sterling work out there on that cover boundary. Such a strong arm. You wouldn't want to run on his arm. Be a wide down the leg side. Mustafa just leaves it well alone. Suri wants two. Mustafa less so. Just the one. To end the 8th over. UAE 70 without loss. Made an excellent start here. One they'll want to build on. And they'll know there's a lot of work on to do that. Well bowled from Naveed Ahmed. Struggled with his length in his first over. Kuwaiti debutant. Good start from his first two balls in this one though. Much fuller. That one right in the block hole against Rohan Mustafa. Fortunate to scamper through for a bye. It's bounced off of Usman Patel's pads. Very good. From Naveed Ahmed. He's settled into some rhythm now. Shorter this time. Suri's pounced on it. Excellent fielding here in front of us. Shiraz Udadumbara racing round from mid-wicket. Looked for all the money. He's racing away for four. It's an excellent piece of fielding. Diving full stretch. You see the replay of that as the UAE meanwhile scampering through for a quick single. That's the fielding here from Shiraz. Full stretch. Excellent fielding. Great work. Done Shiraz a bit of a disservice. It's him that's been racing around that boundary. That's an excellent fielder, does Shiraz. Really good over from Naveed Ahmed. Just went for 4 runs from it. Excellent stuff from the man on his debut for Kuwait. It's UAE batsman just grab a quick drink. Get Getting warm out there under the Oman sun here at Al Amrat Cricket Ground in Muscat. These two already put on 74 this first wicket. 9 overs in. Mohammad Aslam, the Kuwait captain, will continue. Chirag Suri on strike on 23 not out. Rohan Mustafa at the other end on 48. Excellent knock from him so far. On course for a third T20 International 50. Job far from done though for either side. Suri uses his feet. He'll beat the man at long off. Excellent shot from Chirag Suri. Dancing down the wicket. You see the replay here of Chirag Suri using his feet excellently. Driving through cover. Lovely stroke from Suri. Uses his feet again. This time tucks into the leg side. It'll just be one to the UAE opener. Brings Rohan Mustafa on to strike. 48 not out. It's been brilliant so far. He doesn't have a T20 International 100 to his name. He does in ODIs. That'll already be at the back of his mind. First things first, needs to get to 50, and he's dabbed it into mid-wicket. Look for two. They're sent back. Again, Shiraz doing the fielding on that long boundary. He's been brilliant, attacking the ball so quickly. And then he has a rocket of an arm. Brilliant work from Shiraz. Darted in by Mohammad Aslam. Very well bowled. Sorry, this time it's wide. He chases it. Beats the man at backward point. And he beats Shiraz as well. Races away for 4. Suri excellent again. See, it's wide from Mohammad Aslam. Suri giving himself space, reaching nearly off the wicket, crunching it through point. You see Shiraz, who's been brilliant on that boundary. It's too good for him to get round to. Moves UAE on to 84. Make that 85. As Chirag Suri turns it into the leg side for a single. That ends the 10th over, halfway through this UAE first innings. Now 85 without loss. Made a brilliant start here. If you just take a look at that scorecard. Chirag Suri, 33 not out from 27 balls. Rohan Mustafa, 49 from 33. These two who saw the UAE to a comfortable 10-wicket win over Iran yesterday, carrying on where they left off. The UAE yet to lose a wicket so far in this tournament. As Suri goes down the ground and goes long and straight and all the way for 6. Brilliant strike from Chirag Suri. Naveed Ahmed is the bowler. As you watch the replay, Chirag Suri, great use of his feet, striking cleanly straight, all the way over the ropes. Excellent hitting from the UAE batsman. Use his feet again, just a single this time around. Mustafa knocks it down the ground to move to a half century. His third in T20 international cricket. It's been a great knock so far from Rohan. Excellent from the UAE opener. You see, he moves a 50 from 34 balls, 5 fours and 2 sixes. Brilliant knock from him so far. The former UAE captain, of course. Suri pulling into the leg side, just one. Actually have a change of bowling here from Kuwait. Afsal Ashraf coming into the attack. Bit of a teapot, short and stout in terms of physique. The Kuwaiti off spinner. Mustafa gets that reverse sweep out again. This time managed to race through for a single, maybe even two, and is more brilliance out. Mustafa been given out. Excellent fielding once again from Shiraz in the deep with a direct hit as the UAE looked to turn and get a second. Mustafa herring back. The judge not to be back in time. He was shocked when that finger went up. Looked a very close call. As Mustafa trudges off. From the deep, direct hit. Excellent fielding. Mustafa goes for exactly 50 runs. 96 for 1, the UAE. Basil Hamid, the new man to the crease. Knocked down the ground. He's off the mark, first ball. Onus all of a sudden shifts to Chirag Suri, the established batsman, 43 not out. The 25-year-old close to his first T20 International 50. As Basil Hamid cuts into the offside for 1. And the UAE bring up their 100. Chirag Suri tucks it into the leg side. 100 for 1. The UAE at the end of 12 overs of this first innings. See the scoring worm chart there. Rocketed. The 2 openers. Absolutely superb. In that power play, they were very destructive. Taking 12 from 3 different overs. Reined in a couple of times. Syed Moni was particularly good with the new ball. It'll be Naveed Ahmed to continue. He goes down the ground. He's picked the fielder out. And there's Shiraz on the boundary. Takes a catch. But he's just off balance. He's going to go outside the ropes. And he tries to loop it back in so he can then come back into the fielder play and take the catch. But as you see on the replay here, there's Chirag Suri as well. Hits it straight to the fielder. He tries to stay in the ropes. Just has to keep the ball in play. Saves the 6 though in the process. More good fielding from Shiraz, even though he's disappointed not to have taken the catch. Still excellent work. It was just the single to the UAE. Shiraz Ahmed has been so involved in this game so far, just from a fielding perspective. Seems to getting that run out. Rohan Mustafa has been alive in the field. He has the strongest throw we've seen on display so far as well, Shiraz Ahmed. Absolute bullet, like a tracer bullet, unerring. Rockets towards its target. Full toss from Naveed Ahmed, driven firmly through the covers. Excellent fielding once more. This is brilliant from Kuwait. Kashif, the man at extra cover, diving full stretch to his right. saving the boundary. Brilliant piece of fielding. This time Hamid sweeps. It's Mohammed Ansar, encouraged by the Kuwaiti bench. You're really enjoying this fielding display, rightly so. Hit hard and straight, might go all the way. Again, cut off. It's Diju this time. Just from that over alone, some excellent fielding from Kuwait. Stopped probably 3 boundaries, possibly 4 in that over. Just with some excellent, superb boundary riding. Eating up the ground as they hurtle round the rope. Diving stops aplenty. Brilliant work from Kuwait. 107 now, the UAE. Loss of 1 wicket. 7 overs to go. Churik Suri just changes his bat. See Suri on screens there. 47 not out from 36 balls in pursuit of his first T20 International 50. Shiraz has been so good in the field, now comes into the attack with the ball. He took 1 for 17 from 3 overs yesterday. Part of that big turnaround against Saudi Arabia. It's worth noting Shiraz also instigated a run out yesterday. He has 2 run outs in 2 matches. So far been one of the best fielders on display in either Group A or Group B. UAE momentum has slightly slowed since Roma Mustafa's wicket. But Chirag Suri did bring up his first T20 International 50. The start of this over as he moves on to 51 with that single. Basil Hamid, new man in, has gone at just about a run a ball. Just over 7 off 6. Chirag Suri bringing up his half century. First in T20 International cricket off of 40 balls. It's been excellent so far, as he was yesterday as well. As UAE went to a 10 wicket win over Iran. You see Chirag Suri on your screen there. 51 off of 40 balls. 3 fours and a 6 in his innings so far. UAE opener. Really has been good out there. And now with 6 overs remaining, Suri will be looking to see just how many he can get and where he can get his side to. So they look to post a substantial score here. 113 they are for 1 after 14. 6 overs remaining. Considering the start they made, ideally they would have got up towards 200. They've slowed down the last couple of overs since Rohan Mustafa exited stage right with that run out that he was displeased with. That'll be the target though, 190 plus. After such a strong start from the UAE with so many wickets remaining. It's Mohammad Aslam who's back into the attack, Kuwait captain. Got a bit of tap earlier on for 20 from his first 2 overs. Chirag Suri picks out long on. And it's Amin in front of us that takes a very good catch. Sliding on his knees, low in front of him. Chirag Suri's unmoved though. He walks off now. 51. UAE opener goes for. So you watch the replay. Giving himself some room and tried to hit down the ground. Got the inside half of the bat. And Amin was the fielder coming in from long on. Can't quite see there. And he's trapped it in his legs. Suri was wondering whether might have grounded it in the process. Not according to the umpires though. Suri trudges off. The new man in, Mohammad Usman. Enormously experienced, talented player, Mohammad Usman. Left-handed. Middle order batsman for the UAE. Plenty of power. Plenty of elegance. All of a sudden, those 2 wickets of the openers got Kuwait back into things. Mohammad Aslam, the captain, makes the breakthrough there. Basil Hamid will be on strike after the batsman crossed. And he top edges it safely, just about in covers. What's that again? Usman. Sorry, Basil Hamid. Looking to turn it into the leg side. Ball just gripped off the surface, top edged into the offside and lands just safely enough for Basil Hamid to survive. He's on 10 not out. Come at just over a run of ball off of 9. Steady stuff, if not remarkable, from Basil Hamid so far. Still time though. Mohammad Usman on strike for the first time. And off the mark. Right away. Appeal for a stumping, but didn't look like Basil Hamid's back foot moved at all as he looked to sweep. The Kuwaiti captain. Excellent over from Mohammad Aslam. Went for just 4 runs. Took that important wicket of Chirag Suri. And with 5 overs to go, have a look at the scorecard. Suri and Mustafa were excellent, both reaching 51, then losing their wickets though. Azhar Hamid, 11 not out. Mohammad Usman has 1. Look at the Kuwait bowlers. They've used 7 so far. Mohammad Aslam, the only one to force a breakthrough. The other wicket, of course, coming courtesy of Shiraz. Excellent run out. It'll be him that continues with the ball from the far end. So 118 for 2 after 1 ball of the 16th over. .29 to go in this UAE innings. They're in need of some added impetus. Hamid goes inside out, using his feet, over extra cover, a lovely shot. That might be the renewed figure that UAE need. To see that again, excellent stuff from Basil Hamid. He's a player full of class. Using his feet, going strongly over extra cover. He's someone with a very cool head, Basil Hamid. Doesn't let the situation get on top of him. Saw that in the tri series between UAE, USA and Scotland. In the UAE. Played a number of innings, coming in with his team up against it. He kept a very cool head. Played the situations perfectly. They'll need him to do that again here today. He's moved on to 17 not out. Usman on strike, who drives through the covers. It'll just be 1. Four overs to go then UAE, 125 for 2. Basil Hamid 17 not out from 14. Mohammad Usman 3 from 4. And 4 overs to go. Let's have a look at what Kuwait have left in the tank. Plenty of bowling still to come. Mohammad Aslam will bowl his 4th and final over here now. Only Naveed Fakir, as you see there, has bowled his allotted overs so far. It's Naveed Ahmed on debut. And Aslam drops it short and is pulled all the way for 6 over mid-wicket. Excellent shot. See Mustafa rocking back, smashing it all the way over the man on the fence. It's no small hit, that. Usman this time goes over long on. Same result. Another monstrous 6. Great hitting from Mohammed Usman. Back-to-back 6s. Mohammed Aslam, the Kuwait captain, not be happy seeing those balls soar over the rope. See the replay here. Going round the wicket, Aslam. Usman this time using his feet. Launching it for a second 6 in succession. Brilliant hitting from the UAE left-hander. It shows the strength of Mohammed Usman. There's men out. Where he's hit those last 2 balls, cow corner and long on, he's cleared them both comfortably, with ease. If they'd gone to the non-striker's end, Basil Hamid might have been in trouble there. Usman hit it straight to the fielder. There's a yes and a no. Hamid trying to turn. Might have been in trouble. Usman is really trying to up the ante here. Moving across to the offside that time. Trying to launch it into the leg side. Excellent bowling from Mohammed Aslam though. Fired it in at Usman's toes. It's Basil Hamid back on to strike. Little movement in the field. Reinforce that offside. 3 men inside the circle on the offside. Between backward point and cover. And Usman goes into the leg side, but straight to the fielder. The excellent Shiraz. Look at that throw. On the bounce, right over the top of the bails. Wicketkeeper's dream. Is Shiraz. Final ball of Mohammed Aslam's spell then. And Usman chips it straight up in the air to safety. In between 3 Kuwaiti players. Oh, could have been a run out as well. All sorts going on here. Mohammed Aslam, the bowler. Watch it once more. Usman coming down the track, trying to go over the top. Just top edges it, right up in the air. 3 men converge. It lands to safety. And then Basil Hamid, at the non-striker's end, was gone with a direct hit. It would have been long gone. As it is, Usman just adds 2 to the total. And UAE 141 for 2, 3 overs to go. Both batsmen unbeaten on 18. Saeed Munib comes back into the attack. A lovely shot from Basil Hamid, opening the face, running it through the slip cordon for 4. Probably finer. Finer than he'd probably would have liked. His excellent placement. Using the pace. Opening the face. Delightful shot. Running away for 4. Excellent from Saeed Munib. Sorry, from Basil Hamid. Lovely shot for 4. This time driven into the covers. It might be 2. No, and there's trouble. And it's out. Basil Hamid lost his footing trying to turn and was left stranded. It's another direct hit as well from the deep. See Basil Hamid into the offside as a fumble initially. And then as Hamid was turning around this point, he lost his footing and was left stranded. As you can see there, direct hit. And he's well short of the crease. And the UAE 146 for free. Brings to the crease for the first time as a senior international, Alishan Sharafu. He turned 17 in just January of this year during the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup in South Africa. And the schoolboy, what a moment for him. He was the 3rd youngest debutant for the UAE when he stepped onto the field yesterday. Didn't get a bat that time. It's in grade 11, our own Al Waka school in Dubai. One of 2 17-year-olds in this squad alongside Richard Aravind. Another enormously talented player, UAE wicketkeeper batsman. And there's high hopes for Sharafu. Highly regarded in the UAE setup. Hit back-to-back 50s. To end that Under-19 Cricket World Cup in fine fettle. And if you speak to people in the UAE camp, they'll tell you he's a strong lad, hits a long ball, very positive. He won't be on strike though, Mohammed Usman is. Saeed Munib the bowler. What's she saying? It should be 2, and it is. Excellent running. Excellent fielding once again from Shiraz. Absolutely lightning. Sharafu gets back though. Safely enough. Wide. Length was excellent in the block hole, but the line was far too wide of Usman's off stump. Kuwait have been so good, just like they were yesterday, in pulling back and reining in the UAE. Just want to see it out now. Make sure they're chasing a competitive total. It comes their turn to bat. Usman, a lovely clip off his legs, and it'll race away for 4. Brilliant from the UAE batsman. See Munib straying onto Usman's pads. You don't want to do that to a player of his calibre. And that wristy flick. Devastating. Punishing Munib's bad ball. A rare one at that. Wide and then the 4. Should be 2 again into that offside. Very good running from UAE. And out. Good from Manib, full and straight. And Usman's trying to clip it off his legs. But it's cleaned up in the end. You see, Usman's been so good. 26 from 13 as he departs. Trying to clip off his legs, and it rockets off his pads and into the stumps. Excellent bowling from Manib. And Usman has to depart. You see Waheed Ahmed comes to the crease. You see Mohammad Usman's score there. 26 from 13. Went to 200 of a strike rate. 2 6s and a 4. Some good impetus he brought to the crease. And Waheed Ahmed, the man then, that walks out. More than capable of hitting a very, very long ball. Waheed Ahmed, UAE all-rounder. Quite surprising not to see Richard Aravind at any stage so far. Very aggressive, the 17-year-old wicketkeeper. Very good to watch. So far not required. UAE 155 for free. We do have plenty of batting in this side. It's Mohammad Ansar back into the attack. That's a wide first ball. UAE 155 for 4. 2 overs to go. This game very much in the balance. Could go either way, depending on how these 2 overs end up, how many they end up going for. Sharafu heaves into the leg side for his first runs in senior international cricket for the UAE. Big moment for him, 17-year-old, off the mark. I'm sure his friends and family will be watching back in the UAE, cheering him on. What a lovely moment. Using his feet, tucks it into the mid-wicket and is off the mark. Up and running in international cricket. Alishan Sharafu. Waheed Ahmed showing that strength that we told you about. Launching it over long on. Big 6. What a way to introduce yourself. First ball over pitch by Mohammad Ansar. And the response from Waheed Ahmed to use his feet and just launch it over Amin at long on. Excellent shot. Expect more of that. Waheed Ahmed, a big strong lad, hits a very long ball. What's he got now? Crunches it through cover. Should race away for 4, and it does. Excellent from Waheed Ahmed. 6 and a 4 from his first 2 deliveries. This one's given width by Mohammad Ansar. You see the bowler on the replay running in. Given too much width, and Waheed Ahmed crashes it through the covers. Excellent timing, excellent placement. And an excellent 4 runs to UAE cause. This time goes straight and long again, and it's 6 more. Waheed Ahmed, take a bow. Another monstrous 6. This is the biggest of the lot, possibly the biggest of the innings. Overpitched, striking through the line, down on one knee. And Waheed Ahmed launches it all the way for 6. Moves on to 16 from 3 balls. Quite ridiculous hitting from Waheed Ahmed. And Mohammad Ansar, suddenly he's gone for 45 on 3.3 overs. So 3.4 overs, 2 left in his spell. And he needs to come up with an answer, because at the moment, Wahid Ahmed has him on toast. Good response. Just the single. Wahid Ahmed so far has made a mockery of my own suggestion of Richard Aravind coming in earlier. Superb hitting. And Sharafu goes long himself. And all the way. His first 6 in T20 international cricket. 17-year-old for a moment looked like he'd picked out long off or possibly long on. Both running around to try and collect it. You see the replay here. Sharafu gets right underneath it. Clears that front leg. And it goes high and high. And long over the rope for 6 more. Excellent over for the UAE. 25 runs from it. And Mohammad Ansar has ended up going for 52 from his 4 overs. And the UAE 180 for 4 with still an over to go. I said after that fine start they'd have wanted to get to 190, 200. And thanks to this late hitting from first Mohammad Usman, then Wahid Ahmed, and now Alishan Sharafu. It's well within their reach. It'd be Munib to bowl the final over. Kuwait will be hoping to keep UAE under 190 if they can. UAE want to get up towards 200. How many can they get? 6 balls to go. Wahid Ahmed nicks behind, and it's a wicket first ball. Excellent from Munib. Full, enticing the drive. And Wahid Ahmed edges through for a routine catch behind the stumps from Usman Patel. But an excellent innings from Wahid Ahmed. This was 17 from 4 balls. Crucial 17 runs. That might be incredibly important as the game goes on. Wahid Ahmed, 17 off of 5. Caught by Patel, bowled Munib, 4 and 2 sixes. Some incredible hitting. Still no Rich Aravind for the UAE. He's opened the batting in his short ODI career. Sultan Ahmed comes to the crease. Very much a tail ender. Batting at 7 now. I said ahead of Rich Aravind. 180 for 5. And a look for 2, but it's Shiraz doing the fielding. You don't want to take on that arm. He's holding his elbow, not surprised. Shiraz has really let fly from the boundary during this innings. You want to get that on ice. Exceptional fielder, Shiraz. Incredibly impressive in this innings. So, Alishan Sharafu on strike. Just 17 years old. Full toss. It's hit in the air, but to safety. Just 1. Good fielding to keep it to the single. Three balls remaining then. Munib into bowl. Sultan Ahmed on strike for UAE. Strikes firmly down the ground. Excellent fielding once more on the extra cover fielder. Racing round to a long off. Diving full stretch. Brilliant piece of fielding. You see here, cutting off that ball. Brilliant work. It's the other end of the pitch from us. I believe it's Diju, the fielder for Kuwait. Hard to tell from here. It's a long way away from where we're sat. Full toss. Surprised if that's not called a no ball. For height. And it is from the square leg umpire. And a free hit. Munib trying a slower ball. Ended up releasing a full bunger. Somewhat of a beamer. And Sharafu now has the opportunity for a free hit. 2 balls remaining. He looks to scoop it. Over keeper and fine leg, but doesn't get any of it. Dot ball. Munib will be pleased with that. His free hit hasn't cost anything extra. 1 ball to go. UAE 186 for 5. Alishan Sharafu on strike. Munib, the bowler for Kuwait. Excellently bowled. Full Yorker. Misses everything. Ends with a dot ball. Brilliant finish from Munib. With the ball, and the UAE end up 186 for 5 from their 20 overs. As we look back at the scorecard, Chirag Suri and Rohan Mustafa, superb, both making 51. Excellent knock. Basil Hamid, 23 from 17. Mohammad Usman, brilliant with his 26 from 13. And then Wahid Ahmed, 17 from 5. Getting some massive sixes in that. Alishan Sharafu getting his first runs as a senior UAE international. Great moment for him. As for Kuwait, who you see there in the huddle, Saeed Munib, pick of the bowlers, 2 for 30. Hamad Aslam, 1 for 40. For him, the Kuwait captain, while Shiraz in the field was a standout, instigating that run out of Rohan Mustafa. So at the break, Kuwait will return shortly, needing 187 runs for victory in this crucial match in Group B for the ACC Western Region T20 tournament. Welcome back to Al Amrat Cricket Ground here in Muscat, Oman, where the UAE players are just coming back out onto the pitch, defending their total of 186. Kuwaiti batsmen, and they make their way out. Need 187 for victory. Won't be easy. Kuwaiti batsmen now coming out. Big task ahead of them. Ravija Sandarawan and Diju, two opening batsmen. Sandarawan was excellent yesterday, 84 not out from just 38 balls as Kuwait romped to victory over Saudi Arabia. Diju made just 4 opening the batting, fell early on. For the UAE, Junaid Siddiqui will kick things off. He took 1 for 4. Bowled just 2 of his 4 allotted overs yesterday. Ravija that's on strike. The Kuwaiti danger man. Drives. No run. It's Ravija. Hit 103 versus Bahrain here in January 2019. This time he edges, second ball. It's not carried. So UAE captain Ahmed Raza there at first slip instantly says, no, that one's not quite carried to me. Junaid Siddiqui, the bowler, watching a replay once again, draws the outside edge of Ravija. Ball drops just short of Ahmed Raza. That would have been the perfect start for the UAE against a man that was man of the tournament in this tournament, January 2019. Scored a hatful of runs. Made 84 not out yesterday. In fine form, Ravija. Not off to the best starts here, though. Excellent from Junaid Siddiqui. Draws the edge the ball before, and then beats the edge very next ball. Worth noting, UAE are 15th, ranked 15th in the world in T20 international rankings by the ICC. Oh, Ravija again. Gets lucky, cutting into the offside, lands to safety, but he is off the mark. Kuwait, meanwhile, ranked 28th, 13 places below the UAE. As we saw with Qatar beating Oman in Group A earlier on today, all these teams are capable of beating each other. Pulled into the leg side, it'll just be one. End of that first over, a good one from Junaid Siddiqui. Gone for just 2. Excellent stuff from him. UAE started with Sultan Ahmed yesterday, the slow left armour. Looks like they will do again. Yeah. Of quite a round arm and dart it into the pads. Try and bowl as straight as possible. Single to Diju brings Ravija back onto strike. It's worth noting, Ravija has hit the 3 highest scores in T20 international cricket for Kuwait. His 84 not out yesterday was a third of those. He also hit 88 against Qatar in Doha, July last year. And also that 103 from 59 balls. He hit 10 fours and 5 sixes that day. Goes over the top here. Doesn't quite get hold of it, but clears the ring. Won't go to the boundary. Smart fielding. Sharafu with the slide. And then the relay throw. Straight, high and handsome. Roared on by the Kuwaiti team watching on the sides. Goes all the way for 6. Sultan Ahmed over pitching. And Ravija striking cleanly all the way. The first maximum of this Kuwaiti run chase. Similarly to how we saw Roa Mustafa switch gears once he found the middle of the bat, Ravija might just do the same after that excellent 6. This time a late cut, just be 1 though. There's a Junaid Siddiqui doing the fielding at short third man. End of the second over. Kuwait 12th without loss. Need 175 more for victory. 18 overs to get those runs. Junaid Siddiqui back in for his second over. Beats the edge, this time on the inside. For Vija. Sandarawan's bat. Vija Sandarawan struggled in that first over against Junaid Siddiqui. Edged one just short of Ahmed Raza. And he's been beaten again on the outside. That was sharp from the UAE opening bowler. Sandarawan looking back at him as if to say, yeah, fair enough, mate. Had the better of me there. Excellent bowling. Junaid Siddiq. This time clipped into the leg side. It's just one of the two men out on the boundary. Deep square leg. Also at third man. The other two players out at the start of this 6-over power play. Ahmed Raza, the UAE captain, in the slip cordon catching. Everyone else on the ring, inside the circle. This one crunched, just over and out of reach of Ruhr Mustafa. He runs away for 4. It was short and wide from Siddiq. It was there to be hit. Diju, yeah, very much in front of square. Ruhr Mustafa stretching, almost got there. They beat him and ran away for 4. Diju's first boundary of this innings. As a result, Ahmed Raza brings himself out of slip into cover, reinforce that offside. Siddiq again into Diju. And bowls the Kuwaiti opener. And the first wicket falls at the end of the 3rd over. Junaid Siddiq, UAE bowler. To watch a replay here. Full and straight. Hits that Yorker length. Diju misses. And 17 for 1 now, Kuwait. At the end of the 3rd over. You see Diju trotting off there. Made 6 from 5 balls before being bowled by Junaid Siddiq. New man on your screen there, Mohammed Amin, comes to the crease. Halfway through this first power play, 17 for 1, Kuwait. Crucially, their talisman, Ravija Sandarawan, is still at the wicket. He'll have a big part to play if they're to chase down These 187 runs needed for victory. Sultan Ahmed that continues. Sanjuan on strike. This time he sweeps. It won't be a run. Andrew. This time Paul to the leg side. There's a fielder there. But he won't get there. He goes all the way for 6. Vijay Sanjuan leaping onto the back foot. And then pulling it over mid-wicket. All the way for 6. Such a dangerous player. Saw that yesterday. He hits straight and hard. It's a man at long on who just can only help it over the rope for 4. Vijay Sanjuan starting to motor along, using his feet, going down the ground, hitting very firmly past Sultan Ahmed, the UAE bowler. He can only be knocked over the rope for 4. This time a late cut. Run down to third man. Excellent fielding though. Down here in front of us, Alishan Sharafu, the 17-year-old, gave chase superbly. Keeps it in just inside the rope. Excellent piece of fielding. End of that 4th over. It's 29 for 1 Kuwait. And Ravija Sanjuan showing signs of finding his feet, which will be very encouraging for Kuwait as they go about this run chase. That single from the first ball brings Ravija Sanjuan back on to strike. It's Mohammed Amin who picks up the run. Junaid Sadiq, who's caused Ravija Sanjuan the most trouble so far. It'll be close, it'll be tight. He would have been gone with a direct hit. And there's an overthrow just to add a little bit of salt to the wound. UAE all of a sudden look a little bit rattled. Pulled over long on, straight, and it's gone all the way for 6. Ravija Sandrawan. You see the tail end of it there. Pulled dead straight, all the way for 6. Unorthodox, but highly effective. I said at the start, Ravija Sandrawan will be the key wicket, the key performance in this Kuwaiti run chase. And he's off to a flyer, 31 not out. UAE need to find an answer. Can Junaid Sadiq? It's 10 from the over so far. 4 balls into it. So far, so good from Kuwait. Clipped into the leg side. Over short mid-wicket, and it runs away for 4 more. This time it's Mohammed Amin getting in on the act. As Junaid Sadiq drifts onto his pads. You see the replay here. Lovely clip over that man in at short mid-wicket. Here's Sharafu. And it beats Sultan Ahmed. He's at deep backward square. Had a lot of ground to make up. Raced away for 4. 14 runs from this over. 1 still to go. And clipped. Sultan Ahmed's there. Straight into his hands. A great catch. A straightforward one as well, though. Mohammed Amin clips it, times it beautifully off his pads. He got hold of it, but he picked the man out. Sultan Ahmed on the boundary. Completes a routine catch. Mohammed Amin will have to go 5 from 3 balls. Kuwait lose their second wicket. Junaid Sadiq, who had gone for some damage in that over, ends it strongly though with a wicket. Clipped Sultan Ahmed. Routine catch from the slow left armour. 43 for 2 then after 5 overs. Our Kuwait. Let's see Mohammed Amin for 5 from 3 deliveries. Brings the captain Mohammed Aslam to the crease, batting at 4. He joins Ravija Sandrawan, whose wicket now is a crucial one, even more so than before, having seen 2 men go back to the hutch inside this power play, which has 1 more over left in it. And that'll be Rohan Mustafa, who made 50 of the bat today, who will bowl it. He starts well, but it's a great shot and a great reply from Sandrawan. Not a bad ball from Rohan Mustafa. It's full arrowing in. Yorker sort of length. But it got to Sandrawan on the 4 and he clipped it past the diving Ahmed Raza at backward square leg. Mustafa again, darting it, as he will do during this. One of the best bowlers of a Yorker that you'll see in T20 cricket. Might well be a supposed off spinner. Often bowls a lot more like a medium pacer. And he can fire Yorkers in at will. It's made him such an effective player in recent times. Aslam off the mark with that single. Brings Sandrawan back on the strike. Struck firmly down the ground. It's well fielded though. Looks like Zahor Khan mid-off. Excellent piece of fielding to stop that. That was hurtling towards the long off boundary. End of that over then. End of the power play. Kuwait made a very good start. 50 for 2 from 6 overs. It's very much in the balance as it stands. See the scorecard thus far. Oh, gee, that's the UAE one from earlier. And Kuwait's reply. Abhijit Sandrawan holds the key. 38 not out from 25. His captain joins him at the crease. And these UAE bowlers have a task ahead of them. Let's see, Sadiq, the man with the 2 wickets so far, 2 for 21 from his free. He'll be holding one back for later on. And it'll be now Zahor Khan who comes into the attack. Highly skilled seam bowler for the UAE. Expect slower balls, Yorkers. He has a bag of tricks, Zahor. He'll be bowling to Sandrawan. Slower ball bouncer from Zahor. Bowls that very, very well. Just takes all the pace off it, bowling into the deck. Sandrawan was so early on it. Certainly didn't pick it. Good stuff this so far from Zahor. Just 2 runs from his first 3 deliveries. Just be the single, Mohammed Usman rushing in from long on to do the fielding. Beats Mohammed Aslam, the Kuwait captain. Very good over from Zahor Khan. His first in this match. And a dot ball to finish. Very good over. Zahor Khan went for just 3. And Kuwait 53 now. For 2 from 7 overs. 13 remaining. 134 runs for victory. The required rates just jumped over 10 after that excellent over from Junaid Sadiq. And Ahmed Raza, the UAE captain, will bring himself into the attack. After that, just that 1 over from Rohan Mustafa. Oh, close to a return catch. Ahmed Raza, very first ball. Would have been a sharp one. The UAE captain. That's Sanjuan driving. Upish and in the air. See the replay here. Just past his outstretched fingertips. We come back live. Mohammed Aslam turns it into the leg side. Very well run too. Applauded warmly by the Kuwaiti team just next to us on our right hand side. Rightly so. It's an excellent piece of running. Sandran pulls into the leg side. Long on, gets round. Stop the boundary, but can't stop the two. This time, he's cleared the man out there on the boundary. Excellent strike. Launched into the leg side and all the way over mid-wicket. Lovely shot from Sandrawan. Moves on to 49. Just 31 balls. And Kuwait 65 for 2. After 8 overs. And we have a game on our hands here. The Al Amrat Cricket Ground. Turf 1. In Muscat, Oman. Zahor Khan with the ball in hand. Vijay Sandrawan on strike. Flicks it straight to the fielder at short fine leg. Takes the catch. A very muted response from the UAE to a very big wicket. Vijay Sandrawan goes for 49. Barely a murmur from the UAE side in celebration. And the Kuwait bench falls silent. Oddly quiet reaction to that wicket. Vijay Sandrawan, who batted so well, falls for 49. Just one away from his 50. And it's 66 for 3 now. Kuwait. There's the importance of that wicket. You can understand the silence from the Kuwaiti team. The UAE thought would be delighted with that wicket. Barely a reaction from them. You see Ashraf make his way to the wicket. See Zahor Khan. His first wicket. He's gone for 4 runs so far. 1.2 overs. He's been brilliant. And he takes that all-important wicket of Ravija Sandrawan. How will Kuwait respond to losing their talisman? 66 for 3 in the 9th over. 121 more required for a Kuwait win. That 120. UAE needs 7 wickets. Driven up-ish. Just short of the fielder. It's Mohammed Aslan, Kuwait captain, on strike. Driving away from his body. See the replay. It was in the air for a while. Man at backward point. Doesn't quite get there. Chirag Suri, the fielder. Diving in front of himself. Couldn't quite get there. It's in the air for quite a long time. There's no fielder there. Safe. Just the single. Basil Hamid. Unmistakable. For the white towel. Hanging out the back of his trousers. Excellent over from Zahor Khan. Just went for free. Picked up that all-important wicket as well in the process. Kuwait 68 for free. 9 overs in. Nearly 11 and over now. That wicket, as you see, so often happens, usually happens. Put the brakes on slightly. They'll have to respond now. Marwa Mustafa back into the attack, replacing Ahmed Raza. Swept into the leg side. Falls just short of the fielder. In the air for a long time. Again, that one. Mohammed Aslam on the sweep. It's Zahor Khan at square leg on the boundary. Oh, mix up here. Aslam loses footing, loses bat, but doesn't lose his wicket. He came herring down the track. Did the Kuwait captain. Afsal, he said no straight away. Aslan kept going, loses footing, the bat goes. He manages to get back, sliding like a baseball player searching for the base. He survives, and he's on strike now. 2 runs to the end of the over. Kuwait 74 for 3. Halfway through this reply. You see here Rabija Sandrawan, a talismanic Kuwait batsman. Now 49 from 32 balls. Crucial wicket. Now Mohammad Aslan, the captain, a lot falls on his shoulders, has a lot of responsibility. Kuwait are going to get over the line. See UAE bowlers, Junaid Sadiq and Zohor Khan, the men to pick up the wickets. We'll have a replacement as well here. Zohor Khan coming out of the attack. And it'll be Waheed Ahmed, who played that crucial role with the bat. His first 3 balls for 6-4-6. It was excellent from Waheed Ahmed. What can he muster up with the ball? Only a wide. Start. Zapsal Ashraf, the left-hander, on strike. Great shot off his legs, and it goes all the way for 4. Mohammad Aslam beats the man at mid-wicket, both in the ring and outside of it. It's Waheed Ahmed. Watch the replay here. The bowler strays a little bit. Actually, Mohammad Aslan, you see it on the replay, he picks it off stump. Very wristy flick to the leg side. There's a man sent out there immediately by Ahmed Raza to cover that boundary. Field placement feels a little bit after the fact. It's a great shot from Aslam. His single brings Ashraf back onto strike. And he heaves to the leg side. There's a fielder there, and he picks him out for a routine, simple catch. And Waheed Ahmed has his wicket. As you see here, he's drifting onto the pads of Ashraf. Opens himself up. He got quite a lot of it, but not quite enough. Straight to the fielder. That deep backward square leg. He goes for 4 runs from 7 balls. Kuwait 81 for 4. Ashraf 4 from 7 balls. The man who departs. New to the crease, wicketkeeper batsman Usman Patel. This is getting more and more difficult for Kuwait now. 81 for 4 in the 11th over. The required run rate's gone above 11. Need 106 runs. If they're to win, at the moment it looks unlikely. They need something special from these batsmen. Can their captain, Mohammad Aslam, provide it? He's on strike to Wahid Ahmed. That will end the 11th over. Wahid Ahmed takes a crucial wicket, goes for 8 in that over. 82 for 4 Kuwait then. 9 overs to go. Need 105 from 54 deliveries. That's going to be a big ask. Ahmed Raza into the attack. He and Royal Mustafa swapping single overs at the moment from the far end. Clever work from Rich Aravind. And a big call of not out from the square leg umpire. Nice drive. It'll just be 1. Aslam knocking it down the ground. Moving on to 18 not out. Swept by Aslam into the leg side, and it dissects the 2 fielders on the boundary. Strong sweep shot. Let's watch a replay here. Ahmed Raza, the bowler, swept firmly in between those 2 fielders at mid-wicket and square leg. Excellent shot. Goes for 4. 4 more to the Kuwait captain. A single to end the over. 12th over so far. 90 for 4, Kuwait. 8 runs from Ahmed Raza's over. See Mohamed Aslam walking towards the screen as you look at it. 23 from 23. 2 falls so far. Run a ball. The Kuwait captain has a significant role to play. He's going to get his side close to this total. They need another 97 for victory. They need to go at just a nudge over 12 and over if they're going to do it. 8 overs to go. .48 balls. 97 runs. That's the equation. That single brings Aslam on to strike. Short from Wahid Ahmed. Given a wide. That'll be far from the best delivery that he's bowled. Way too short. Nearly hit his own toes. Looped over the batsman's head. Rightly signalled a wide. Could be 2 here, and they're going for 2. Oh, direct hit, that would have been gone. Basil Hamid, the fielder. Aslam, adamant, set off so early. Big, loud, confident call to come back for the second, which they managed to do too. Edged and straight to the man at short third man. And UAE have their 5th wicket. Wahid Ahmed has his 2nd. It's Ashraf, the batsman. I'll show you the replay of that wicket to fall. Wahid Ahmed bowling outside off stump. Ashraf trying to heave it to the boundary, but just top edges it. Straight to the fielder. Makes the walk back to the pavilion. 5th Kuwait batsman to do so. Made 5 from 5 balls, a runner ball. And as you can see there, it's Zahor Khan, the fielder, took a routine catch. Means Mohammed Kashif is the new man to the crease. And 2 in 2 balls, Wahid Ahmed beyond a hat-trick. Mohammed Kashif, the man walking back to the pavilion. It's now 95 for 6. Final ball of this 13th over will be a hat-trick delivery for Wahid Ahmed. There's Shiraz, who was excellent in the field earlier on today, makes his way to the wicket. And the UAE now closing in on a significant victory, considering their net run rate. They'll all but be through to the semi-finals with this win. Move them to 4 points. Kuwait will be up against it to get these remaining 92 runs. So Wahid Ahmed on a hat-trick. Oh, it's kept out by Shiraz. Excellent over from Wahid Ahmed though. He went for 5. Crucially, picked up those 2 wickets. He now has 3 for 14 from his 2 overs. Brilliant stuff from Wahid Ahmed. Just have a look at the UAE bowling figures so far. As you say, Wahid Ahmed 3 for 13 from 2. Junaid Sadiq 2 for 21 from 3. Zahor Khan 1 for 6 as well from his 2. And you see Rohan Mustafa 2 overs, none for 13. He will bowl his 3rd now, coming back into the attack with the score 95 for 6. 7 overs to go. Kuwait need 92 for victory. Not beyond the realms of possibility, but the way UAE have gone about their business, it'll be remarkably difficult. That wide will help though. Aslam sweeps. Hamid Raza holds his head in his hands. Lets out an anguished, almost scream, thinking he was in there. Thinking Rohan Mustafa might have snuck through. The Kuwait captain brings Shiraz on to strike. Very good Yorker from Rohan Mustafa, firing it into the toes of Shiraz. He does very well to keep it out in response. Into the 14th over then, Kuwait 98 for 6. Rohan Mustafa rushing through that, as he so often does. Goes for just 3 runs. Very economical. And the required run rate up to 15 and over now. 89 required from 6 89 from 36 in terms of balls. It'll be Wahid Ahmed to continue. That's 3 wickets to his name already. Hit high and hard and handsome all the way for 6. Cracking strike of the ball. Made an almighty crunch. Shiraz launched it back over the head of Wahid Ahmed. Excellent. See the umpire neck craning to watch where that went as it soared over the boundary. Great start to the over for Kuwait. Shiraz, we saw how strong he was in the field with those rocket throws from the boundary. Clearly more than capable of clearing the ropes as well. Could we see a dramatic turnaround? This time pulled past short fine leg and it'll run away for 4. Perfect start to the over from Shiraz. Takes that first ball for 6. And then the third. He just pulls round the corner. Runs away for 4. Good stuff from Shiraz. Full toss this time. Shiraz drives down the ground. There'll just be 1. Rohan Mustafa, excellent fielder. Gets round quickly. Returns the throw. Well bowled from Wahid Ahmed to finish the over. After 15, Kuwait 110 for 6. Five to go. Here's how it looks. The Kuwait run chase. Nearly 186 for victory. Mohammad Aslam, 26 not out, the captain, holding the cards alongside Shiraz. He's come in, been excellent in that last over. Added some real impetus. These two very much last chance for Kuwait. It's a wide down the leg side. It'll run away for 5 of them. Sloppy from Rohan Mustafa. Fires it in. Darts it onto the legs of the batsman. Rich Aravind has little chance of stopping it. Neither does Wahid Ahmed at short fine leg. Aslam this time sweeps into the leg side, and it goes the distance all the way for 6. Suddenly we have a game back on our hands. Mohammed Aslam down on one knee, sweeping firmly all the way for 6. And Kuwait have 11 from the first 3 balls, first 2 balls because of that wide. It's 5 wides. Target now down to 65. Aslam sweeps and misses and is bowled this time. And that may well put an end to the Kuwait chase. As you see here, sweeping and missing, and Mustafa picks up his first wicket of the day. And again, no celebrations from the UAE side. Seem completely unmoved whenever they take a wicket. Just want to go about their business. No pomp or ceremony. Mohammed Aslam, 32 from 20. He departs. 2 4s and a 6 to his name. Syed Manib, the man on your screen there, who comes to the crease with Kuwait, 121 for 7. "27 balls left, 65 runs required if Kuwait are going to beat the UAE. Remember, the winner of this will move to 4 points. Have a 100% record, 2 from 2, with 1 game to play in Group B of this ACC Western Region T20 tournament. And whoever does win will put themselves in pole position to then top the group and take on 2nd place in Group A. And it's those semi-finals that will determine the 2 teams that not only advance to the final here, but also the final qualifying event for the Asia Cup 2020. Single down the ground from Shiraz to finish off the 16th over. Mustafa finished his spell. 1 for 30 from his 4 overs. 14 from his last. No, he did pick up the wicket of the Kuwait captain, Mohammed Aslam. That means with 4 overs to go and 24 deliveries, Kuwait 124 for 7, needing 62 runs. It's a big ask for them now. The bowler coming back into the attack is Zahor Khan. Man on your screen. He'll be bowling to Shiraz, who has 13 not out. And he's bowled. Excellent from Zahor Khan. Right back into the attack and right back into the thick of things. Full straight Yorker. Shiraz tries to launch to the moon. Excellent this from Zahor Khan. Full and straight. Arrowed into those stumps. Sends the bails flying. Kuwait 124 for 8. Shiraz makes his way back. Made 13 from 13, 4 and a 6 in that knock. It's all but over now here for Kuwait. It's Mohammed Ansar Walk to the crease. Man on your screen there wearing the number 8 for Kuwait. Marking his guard. He'll be facing up to Zahor Khan, who now has 2 for 6 from 2.1 overs. Another excellent display from Zahor Khan. He's become such an integral figure of this UAE bowling attack. And Anzar wakes it down the ground, pick up a single off the mark first delivery. Short, slower ball bouncer, looped up and was hooked away for 4. Looping bouncer from Zahor Khan, it just stuck in the pitch and it was on its way down by the time it was hooked away. Side Muneeb. I think he's looking to see if anyone fancied calling it a no ball above his head. Zahor Khan in again. 4 straight, somehow misses. Oh, very good bowling from Zahor Khan, much more like it. Quick 4 straight, narrowly missing the stumps. This time, it's hit high and handsome, over long on for a big 6. Muneeb has just unleashed. There's a full toss from Zahor Khan. Dispatched from Muneeb. Back over long on. It's Mohammed Usman who could only stare as it went soaring over his head. And only about 3 foot away from us, where we're sat commentating. Muneeb absolutely launched that. And out. Next ball, Zahor Khan hits that Yorker. And Muneeb is gone. And Zahor Khan gets it right. It's very hard to get anything from him. That Yorker that we've seen, he's so successful so far. He has his 3rd wicket for just 17 runs. At the end of his 3rd over. As Muneeb trots off 11 from 5 balls, and 4 and 1 massive 6. It's Naveed Ahmed who comes in, last man in, making his debut today for Kuwait. $135 for 9. Kuwait, 3 overs, 18 balls remaining. Zahor Khan struck twice in his last one. Samid Raza back into the attack. That could be all over. Not sure what's happened here. Went straight down Sultan Ahmed's throat. He's got a hand on it, clearly. Just gone for 4. Should have been the end of the game. Sultan Ahmed, he's rubbing his fingers. He should be celebrating a win. Straightforward catch, straight down his throat. It's Ahmed Raza who's the bowler. Mohammed Ansar on strike. Ahmed Raza bowling very quickly here, the UAE captain. See Sultan Ahmed checking his fingers, feeling a bit sorry for himself down there. And bowled. Ahmed Raza wraps it up. The UAE captain seals victory for his side. Kuwait all out for 139. And the UAE wrap up a 46-run victory. You see that final wicket to fall. Again, falls straight. That formula that's worked so often today. Kuwait all out 139. So we have a look at that Kuwait batting lineup. Ravija Sandrawan is 49 from 32. Felt like as soon as he left the crease, Zahor Khan picking up that wicket. As soon as he went, Kuwait were up against it. Mohammed Aslam made 32 from 30. Captain, very little else of too much substance from Kuwait. Certainly not enough. Needed another player to be able to go on. As for the UAE, Zahor Khan's 3 for 17. Standout performance with the ball. Wahid Ahmed 3 for 25 as well, was excellent. Mustafa picks up 1. Ahmed Raza picks up another. And Junaid Sadiq 2 for 21. Brilliant early on. So this is how it panned out earlier on. UAE made a 186 for 5. Mustafa and Chowdhury, the 2 openers, are outstanding. Both making half centuries before the UAE romped to that 47-run victory, which means in Group B of this ACC Western Region T20 that the UAE played 2, won 2, at the top of the group, 4 points, and a substantial net run rate that should carry them through in either top spot or second. And Saudi Arabia, after their win earlier on today, due to net run rate, go above Kuwait. And tomorrow we will again see those top 2 in action. Saudi Arabia versus UAE will kick things off on Turf 2. The pitch is just next door to the one we've seen the action on today, Al Amrak Cricket Ground. Saudi Arabia versus UAE. Before Iran Kuwait at 1:30 local time. As we find out who goes through as the top 2 in Group B. Thanks for joining us today. As we've seen, UAE continue their perfect record with victory over Kuwait here in Muscat, Oman.